a minute though for my recording, so
all of you guys are going to help me with that, right?
I'll chip in.
Okay, good. All right, well, I'm going to welcome Ashley. I'm so excited that she's here and able to do this for us. So she's going to be, I know, speaking to a lot of us and things that we need. So anyway, take the floor, Ashley. Thank you.
Okay. Hey guys, some faces I know, some faces I'm sure I'll get to know. I wanted to come to you tonight to talk about some goal setting. Goal setting is a passion of mine. I am a 3 on the Enneagram. For those of you that know what that means, I am an achiever and a goal setter, and I love to set goals, especially if I can hit them. So what I want to talk to you tonight is about setting goals in a smart way so that they are achievable and breaking them down. So it's much easier to hit them and to know exactly what you need in order to hit them. If you don't have a paper and pen, I'd recommend grabbing that real quick. You also will probably want a calculator. So if you have like your phone or a calculator nearby, I'll give you a second to grab that. But this will be an interactive. I'm also red, so I'll try to be as blue and yellow as I can be, but that is not my natural color. So I apologize for you blue and yellows out there. I'll try to lighten it up as much as I can. Okay, what I want you to do first is we're going to do 2 simple goals. This is something that I encourage you to do every single month in your business. I also encourage you to pass this down to your downline and share these goals together. We're going to set 2 different goals here. One is a must-hit goal for this month. So we are talking by April 30th. What is the one thing that you are doing? There's no question. There's no negotiation. By April 30th, it is happening. Make sure this is measurable. A good goal is a rank goal or a points goal, a PV goal, something like that, that we're absolutely, when we look in your back office on April 30th, we're going to say, yep, she hit it. She did it. It's done. So take a second, write down your must-hit goal for April. Could be convention credits too. I know some of you are working towards that. Okay, hopefully you got something there. The second one we're going to write down is a scary goal. The one that's like, crap, like I would really like to hit that, but I don't know how I'm going to hit it. But it's possible. It's just going to take a lot of work or something crazy to happen. So write down that scary goal. Again, same guidelines. Convention credits maybe, a rank goal, a PV goal, a points goal, maybe adding a certain amount of ambassadors to your team or customers, consistency club, different things like that. So take a second, write down your scary goal.
Sorry, can you tell me what we're doing? I missed whatever we're doing.
Oh yeah, we're writing down a must-hit goal and a scary goal. Okay, so must-hit is your non-negotiable. This is in the month of April. It's happening. It needs to be measurable. So like a rank goal, a PV goal, a certain amount of ambassadors, a certain amount of points, convention credits. I know you have big convention credit goals, Tiffany. So a must-hit and a scary. Okay, and then the next thing is to share that with somebody. Maybe it's an accountability partner, maybe it's your upline, maybe it's your downline. I love sharing with my downline because they like to see what I'm shooting for and encourage me along the way. Plus, they know they're a part of that piece. And so share it with somebody. Maybe it's a spouse, a friend. It doesn't have to be anybody in Plexus, but obviously the people in Plexus understand it a little bit more. So make sure you share that. And then just again, going back, this is something that like to do every single month. Most of your jewels will say that the people that do the must-hit goals almost always hit them. Guys, that's just the rule of goals. Like if you write it down, you're so much more likely to hit those goals. I fought goals for a long time. Lorelai would tell me to write them down and share them, and I just refused because I don't like it when I miss a goal. And so setting goals is scary for me. But every time that I've set a goal, I've hit it. So set them. The scary goals, I haven't always hit the scary goals. But the must-hit ones, I've always hit those. So you got to write them down. Okay, so that's just kind of a little basic goal setting. Now what we're really going to dive into is backwards goal setting. So the idea of this is taking a look at some goals that are a little bit further out and working backwards to see exactly what that's going to take each month in order to hit those goals. First, we're going to start with setting rank goals for different dates. So on your sheet of paper, we need to write down April 30th is one date. Convention is another date, which is May 31st. You'd have to hit that goal by May 31st to be qualified for convention as a rank. July 31st, December 31st, and then March 31st. So I'll run through those again. You're writing down April 30th. Convention is the next one, which is May 31st. July 31st, December 31st, and then basically a year from now, March 31st. It's always good when you're writing these goals to take a look at where you want to be in a year from now so you can kind of measure yourself along your journey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a second to write down what ranks you would like to be at by those dates. Okay, if you just start, I don't know where everyone's at in their journey. If they're just starting, you may be like, I don't even know what ranks would be appropriate. You can take a guess at this time and we can always reevaluate. To run down, silver is having 3 ambassadors under you. Gold is 100 points or 20 ambassadors. Senior gold is 250 points. Ruby is 500 points. Senior ruby is 750 points. And then emerald is 1,500. So write down your ranks for those 5 dates. I'll give you some time to do that. Some of you may be wondering why I chose convention, because that's like next month, but certain ranks get to do certain trainings. So it's always good that if you're close to hitting a rank to really make that push in May so that you can go to different trainings based on your rank. Plus, it's just nice to be in that next group up when you're with everybody. Don't be afraid of writing these down. These aren't set in stone, but we need them for the exercise. So focus especially on the one for July 31st. That's the one we're going to focus on. So make sure you have a rank in the July 31st spot. I'll give you 1 more minute. And guys, if you have questions along the way, feel free to unmute yourself and ask, or type it in the chat bar. Like, I want this to be interactive, so. Okay, so now here's the math part of it. I love math. I realize that not everybody does. So I will try to go slow. If you have your calculator handy, I used to be a teacher too, but I taught kindergarten, so I think we can all count to like 100. That was my specialty. So if you have your calculator handy, have that out. It's also helpful to know what your points ended at for March. So if you're not sure of that and you can log into your back office real quick, take a look at what your points ended at for March, because that will be helpful. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at our rank goal for July. We need to know how many points that is. So I'll run down the point totals real quick. Gold is 100 points, and Super Silver, I think that's what we're calling it now. Super Silver is 50 points. Gold is 100. Senior Gold is 250. Ruby 500. Senior Ruby is 750, and then Emerald is 1500. So write down that number to start with. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to subtract whatever point total we finished March with. Okay, so I'm going to use an example. If I'm shooting for Ruby, which is 500 points, by the end of July, and I ended March with 250 points, I'm going to subtract 250 from 500, and now I know that I still need 250 points in my organization in the next 3 months. Okay, and you may be asking, why 3 months? Ultimately, if we want to hit this goal by July 31st, we have April, May, and June. They really need to be in your organization by the end of June in order to count for points by July. We know there's exceptions to that. People could add customers. People could go 100 over their welcome packs. There are exceptions to that, but let's not count on that. Let's leave that as a buffer versus the rule. Okay, so we've got 3 months that we need to add, for me, for this example, 250 points. So you have your number on your paper. What I want you to do now is take your number and divide it by 3, because we have 3 months. So we're figuring out how many points we need each month. So go ahead and divide that number by 3. And that is your points per month is what we're trying to add. Is everybody with me so far? If you're not, feel free. Like, I know math isn't everybody's strength. Okay, so now we know how many points we need per month. What we're going to do next is going to take a little bit of explanation, but we are going to divide that by 4. The reason I chose 4, we know that most ambassadors in our top tiers are worth 5 points, but as we get deeper, they're worth 4 points, they're worth 3 points, they're worth 2 points. So we're going to take a conservative approach and say divide it by 4 points. Now, if you're just starting, most of your people are probably going to be worth 5 points. So you could potentially divide by 5. But I say to keep it safe, let's divide that number by 4. This number, this is going to tell you how many ambassadors you have to add every month. Before you all freak out, let's talk some strategy with that. So now we should have a number that we need to add every month. A couple things with this number. We know that typically if we're in a period of momentum, the first month you may add 5 people. Well, then the next month, hopefully if every single one of those people went silver, wouldn't that be great? They're all going to add 3. That means you're adding 15 the next time. Perhaps they only add 10, you would only add 10, maybe only 7, but typically your number is going to go up the next month and then up the next month. Okay, so if you have a big scary number like 75 people a month, you could reconfigure those numbers. You may say, okay, I'm going to do 50 the first month, and then I'm going to do 80 the next month, and then I'm going to do 100 the next month. So you could kind of play around with those numbers based on where they're at, knowing that you're going to grow. I prefer to keep those numbers scary because it gives me a cushion. Another thing that we know is that there's attrition. Attrition happens. No matter how good your follow-up is and how amazing these products are, there's always going to be attrition. You can lessen the attrition by your follow-up and by checking in with people and building belief, but you're always going to have a couple people at least drop off each month. And so you do want to build yourself a cushion. One other thing we didn't talk about was how many people you added in March. Hopefully you added a couple of people in March that are now going to count in April. So there's a couple of things that we kind of like build buffers in on this, so we don't have to worry as much about those few people that will drop off by building in those buffers. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so does everybody have their big scary number? Hopefully it's a big scary number. If you look at that number and you're like, oh, that's easy. Like I can add 3 people every month, or my team can add 10 people every month. You might want to look at adjusting your goal. Perhaps your goal could be a little bit bigger than where you're at right now. But let's talk about that goal. So let's say my goal is to add 20 people a month. Me adding 20 people a month is not realistic for my business. Maybe some of you that is. Where I'm at, adding 20 people, I work full time, I have 3 little kids at home. Adding 20 people would take a huge commitment that I don't have right now. So I have to look at how am I going to add 20 people. This is where I start to reach out to my downline and I talk to everybody and I say, hey, what are your goals this month? I never come at them and say, I need you to add 5 and I need you to add 3 and I think you can add 4, because that's going to be a big old turnoff. But I go to them and say, okay, Susie, what are your goals this month? Do you have a goal to go silver again? Do you have a goal to coach at silver? How many people would you like to grow your organization by this month? And then when Susie says, I'm going to grow my organization by 7, I say, great, I'm going to mark Susie down. Now, I know Susie, and I know whether Susie's capable or has shown examples of hitting 7 before, or if maybe I should only count her for like 5 or 6, but still encourage her to hit 7. But again, I'm building in that buffer. So I put Susie down, then I go on to Jane, and then I go on to Sheila, and I talk to all of my people to see where their goals are at. And then once I've talked to all my people, then I take a look, okay, well, how many do I need to personally recruit? I always make it a goal to personally recruit 3 myself. But in looking at these numbers, I may need to add 4 this month, or I may need to add 5 this month. And then I can kind of get my own game plan. Instead of adding 20 by myself, I now have a team that is working on going silver again. They're looking maybe to hit their own rank up goals. And so maybe they have a bigger number like 7. And so then you kind of split that responsibility amongst your team. Are we on the same page still? We good? Okay. I'll stop for a second. Does anybody have any questions about that backwards goal setting? Good so far? Okay, and you can do this with anything. Maybe you're saying, okay, I want to hit Emerald. And I need to do it within a year because I have big dreams of retiring from my teaching job or from whatever it is. Maybe we want to buy a house in a year. Whatever it is, you take that 1,500 points, you subtract whatever's in your current organization, divide it by the amount of months you have to do that, and then divide it by 4, because that's how many the ambassadors are averagely worth. And you go from there and you get a game plan.
Can you repeat that one more time a little bit slower so I can write it down?
Yeah. So take your current or your goal points, subtract your current points. So goal points minus current points. Divide that by the amount of months you have to hit your goal. And remember, you always want to short it 1 month. Like if you're looking to hit it in March, you need to stop counting months in February. Does that make sense? Okay, so divide it by the amount of months that you have to hit it, and then divide that by 4, because that's what we're saying each ambassador is worth. It's 4 points on average. Okay, so rank number minus current points, divided by the amount of months you have to do that, divided by 4. Okay, and so you can do this even if you're not good with math. You got a calculator, they're beautiful, they're on our phones. So you can do this yourself, you can do this with your team, you can figure out exactly what you need. It's obviously a little bit more daunting to do it for a year out, but still it's going to give you a decent idea as to what you have to average, and just give you a place to constantly be checking in along your journey. Okay, so now we have, this is specifically towards rank. Another thing you can do this with is your convention contest, which I know we're at the end of that, but Leaders Retreat is going to be coming up. So when it comes to Leaders Retreat, those contests will most likely be announced when we're at convention. You take what you're shooting for. There's 3 months to earn Leaders Retreat. So usually what I do when it comes to Leaders Retreat contests is I first start with what's the PV that I can hit each month. Okay, so you start with your PV. If you plan to hit, 1750 every month, you take that point value, add it 3 times, and then subtract that from the total, and then you know how much you have to add in a combined total of customers and ambassadors. But guys, as soon as that contest launches, you need to sit down and get a game plan. I love to do it while I'm at convention. I've got all these people around me. Everybody's got big dreams. Like, we'll take a little 30-minute strategy session and figure that out maybe while we're eating lunch. But figure that out from the get-go, because it's so much easier if you get that off the bat than waiting until it's like, crap, there's 1 month left and I really wanted to go to this dinner or this gala, or I want that big check. And if I would have known I was going to get this close, I could have tried to get higher PV at the beginning, So do that same concept, start with your big number, subtract out the givens, and then you'll figure out kind of the variables, if you will, which is usually how many people you have to add in those 3 months to hit that goal. Okay, and my last thing with all of this is find yourself a partner to do this with. Somebody that is going to hold you accountable, somebody that you enjoy chatting with, somebody that you can check in with every week and say, where are you at? How are you doing? When it comes to those monthly goals, if you have a goal to add 20 people, 20 ambassadors in a month, break that down into 4-week segments. Okay, if I've got to add 20 people, I can't wait until April 25th and say, where are my 20 people? How am I going to do this in the last 6 days of the month? If you take that and break it up into 4 weeks, you know that I have to add 5 people each week. As long as I'm adding 5 people a week, I am on track. When it comes to the 31st, my goal is set. I'm done. Okay, I don't know about you, but I know there have been rank days where it's the 31st at like 10 p.m. and I'm going, crap, I still need 10 people. Like, I got to hit Ruby. I need 10 more people. And you're scrounging and you're trying to get a hold of people that are night owl like you are. Don't do that. Don't always try to hit your goals by the 28th, number one. Then when February comes, it's not a big deal when there's only 28 days. Always try to hit those by the 28th, but break them into 4-week segments. Go one step further of not just this is how many I have to add this month, but now this is how many we have to add each week. Then when you're behind after, maybe you're behind after the first 7 days of the month, then I got to kick it into gear now. I can't wait until the 25th of the month to kick this in. I got to go now. So I think that's really it. I know Carissa has talked about this a lot in the last couple days as far as strategy goes, but we're closing out convention contests right now. So make your big pushes this month. Look at your point totals now. There's still 20 days left in this month. There's still plenty of time to hit these goals, so don't think they're lost. Do some little backwards goal setting and say, am I going to hit a rank this month? What's my PV total going to be at the end of the month? If I hit this PV total, then how many ambassadors do I have to add? If I get this rank and this PV total, how many ambassadors do I need to add? How many customers? It's not over yet. So keep pushing for those April goals. And then take May as a month to really build belief into people and get people on that path so that when June 1st hits, you're ready to take off for Leaders Retreat. Because we've got lots of exciting stuff. I know they said that you're going to want to get everybody registered for this Too Big to Miss. They hinted that it is product related. So even if people are not in the business, you need to reach out to them. Every single person in your downline needs to be registered, because I guarantee it will be a product that they will want the opportunity to purchase. And they won't be able to purchase it without registering for the Too Big to Miss. And it's free, guys. It is completely free. I know last year I helped people, like I registered people. Said, hey, do you want me to register you for this? Like, what's your email address that you would like me to use? Get them registered. That way they have the opportunity to purchase whatever it is when it releases. It's a great way to get people re-engaged as well. So we do our team calls in 30 minutes. I know Cassie said you guys sometimes to go for an hour. That's really all I had. So I will open it up. I don't know if Cassie has anything that she wants to add, or if you guys have any questions. I'm willing to stay around. You can ask me anything. I just don't have any more meat left for you tonight.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Whether we do a Zoom after convention or maybe if we can like find time after they announce Leaders Retreat contest, it's actually going to start before convention. Can we maybe do like a strategy session, and for those of us that are math illiterate, and you can help us map out?
I'd be happy. Like, this stuff like makes my heart sing. So I would be happy to. We do this on our team call. It's usually we always schedule, we do ours on Monday night. So we always schedule it for the Monday night after whatever's released. And we do that. So yours would probably just be the next night, and I'll already have it all planned out from doing it with my team. So I would be happy to do strategy sessions on a team call, or if Cassie, if you think you want to do something else on a team call, I can do strategy separate. So
no, this is perfect. I'm trying to figure this out, and it's not working. Anyway, no, math is not my forte, and thankfully my team still loves me because it's not in me. Oh my goodness. So that would be wonderful. I mean, really wonderful if you could do that. I know this helped me a lot, and I can only imagine what I want to see everybody's goals. Like, private message me if you can, and then find that one person and really, have more than just one person helping you be accountable to. I loved it. Anybody else had any questions for Ashley?
I feel like Jana has always helped me map out my points because she likes math and I don't. And I've always been like, how the heck did she figure that? Like, how does she do this? So really writing down like how to step by step, I feel like now I can help people on my team do the same. So thank you.
Yeah. I feel like you guys can message me at any time. Feel free to reach out.
You know I will.
Yeah. That's all good.
Any other questions or anything? Or do y'all want to share what your crazy goal is?
I'll share my crazy goal.
Okay, do it.
My crazy goal is black tie, and it's like 800 points away. Like,
I'm right there with you. That was my crazy goal, was gala.
That is my crazy. I don't even know if it's possible. I mean, I've done the math because I love math, and it seems insane, but I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Like, you don't get it, but you end up with a bunch of extra money because you added a bunch of people.
Right. Mine is, I think, isn't it 1,800 to get that? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
648. So that's my crazy goal.
Mm-hmm.
My crazy goal was to rank to Ruby and hit gala this month, or my scary goal, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And I think I'm right about the same distance as you guys are.
She is.
Yeah. It's going to take something crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we can do it.
We can. It's possible.
Anybody else want to share? If not, then we'll let everybody go early. But my level ones, make sure to message me or I'm going to hunt you down. I want to hear your goals. So, all right. Well, I'm so glad you guys came. I hope this helped. And Ashley, I cannot thank you enough. Oh my goodness. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And yeah, I'm excited.
Okay, well, thanks for having me tonight, guys. Like I said, any questions you have, feel free to reach out. Hope this was helpful.
Cassie or Ashley, whoever Zoom this is and recorded it, will you share this?
Yep,
Okay,
I will.
perfect.
All right.
Thanks so much, Ashley.
Yes, you're welcome. Bye, guys.
Bye.